All right, joining me now on the show, he is the 126-pound champion. On June 9th, he's going to move up to 130 pounds. He's going to fight Felix Caraballo, one of the first fights back in boxing in North America and the first show on U.S. soil since this global pandemic took hold. And he's also, if you listened to the podcast before, he's a huge fan of my judging. He is Shakur Stevenson. What's up, Shakur?
What's up? What's up? What up?
So how are you feeling these days? How has life changed for you? I mean, what's been going on in your world the last couple of months?
We just been working around the pandemic, and I usually I go to Colorado Springs for training camp and stuff like that. So we kind of switch it up. I've been in Texas and Houston, and we just switched training camp up and getting around the pandemic and been working.
So
getting ready for this fight.
When you switch training camps up, I mean, how much different is your training because of what's been going on?
I mean, it's not a lot different. I got my whole team here. My coaches is here. My cook here. So it's not too much difference. It's just the altitude and the training times.
Are you able to spar?
Yeah, I've been able to spar a lot.
So, you go back. You were, I think, the last fight to get canceled before the pandemic hit, just days away from fighting at Madison Square Garden. And you went through a tough training camp to make 126 pounds. I mean, how did you feel after that fight got canceled?
I was mad at the fact that I trained 8 weeks and got ready, spent a lot of money in camp, spent a lot of money on all that camp stuff, and then having my fight get canceled, I kind of was salty about that whole situation.
So when Top Rank comes to you and says, "Look, we can do a fight for you behind closed doors, no crowd," what was your first reaction?
My first reaction, it really didn't matter to me because that's what I was hearing about when I was supposed to fight March 14th. They said it was going to be no crowd, so I was already in the mind state of fighting with no crowd. It don't really matter to me. I feel like it's like sparring.
How different you've been an Olympian, you've gone through all sorts of different locations for fights, so I guess fighting in front of a light crowd is probably not all that unusual and all that new for you, but how do you think you're going to react to the experience?
I think I'm going to react real good. I think that, like I said, it's just like sparring. Like, it's nobody in the arena. People going to be watching on TV, so I think I'm going to have a good reaction to it. I think it ain't going to bother me at all.
And the decision to jump up to 130 pounds, is this a permanent move for you, or do you think you'll be back at 126?
I might come back to 126 for the right fight. So if it's the right fight, I'll come back and fight Warrington or something at 26. But if not, I'll probably be moving up to 130 for sure.
Does Josh Warrington still matter to you?
I mean, it matters that me and him is like the biggest fight at 126, and we're trying to get that done. But he don't really matter to me, to be honest with you.
Have you talked to your team about like how to? I mean, I don't know how much you as a fighter feed off the crowd. I mean, is that part of your kind of your whole fight experience, kind of feeding off what the crowd does?
Nah, not too much. I try to block the crowd out, to be honest. I'm the type of fighter that block the crowd out, and I kind of focus more on what I'm doing it for and my reason for doing it, my motivations and stuff like that. So, it's not really going to be like I need the crowd to feed me energy or anything like that. I'm at energy already.
What kind of protocols and what kind of stuff do you have to go through before you can get in the ring? Are there different things they have to do to make sure you're tested? Do you have to be quarantined a certain period of time? How does all that work?
Yeah, I'm not sure right now. I know that I've been more like in the gym by myself, and a couple of people been in the gym, but I just got tested and stuff. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do a fight week. I don't know like what's the whole plans and stuff yet.
Do you get stuck with those really bad tests that they go right up to your nose to your brain there, or is there something different you're using?
Nah, I had a different test. They gave me like a cotton swab, and they had to like rub inside, like circular motion, and then give it back and put it inside this little thingy.
So
So I
not like one of
don't.
the really bad ones that we've seen
Nah,
online.
I didn't get a bad test. I thought I was. I actually went there thinking like I was gonna get the bad test, and it's another fighter that's with me that's fighting on the card. And I was gonna make him go first just to see like what the test was like. But nah, they had an easy test and got it done.
Hmm. You had a couple of opponents kind of be talked about before they settled on Caraballo there. Do you know much about him? I mean, how are you preparing for him specifically?
I don't know nothing about him. I watched like 1 or 2 rounds and I turned him off. Like I think he ain't got nothing for me. So that's all I needed to know. But uh, the other opponent, he couldn't get inside the country on Rafael Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have been a better fight.
Do you think that, I mean, having a fight like this and, Jamel Herring fighting next month, it's great to get back into the mix. Do you think there can be those, like, say you and Josh Warrington? I mean, is it even possible for you and Josh Warrington to fight unless there's a big crowd there to go and see it?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to fight Josh Warrington unless it's a big crowd. I think that was my whole purpose of specifically picking him because I know he could fill up an arena in England and have 30,000 fans at the arena. So um, that was really one of my main things for wanting to fight him,
Mm.
honestly. So it wouldn't be
If
no point in me fighting him with no crowd.
mm. if you get through a fight like this, I mean, are these types of fights? Would you want to stay busy doing these types of fights, or do you want to wait, after you get through a fight like this and try to get that big fight? I mean, how do you strategize your next 6 months?
I'm not really the type of fighter that do a lot of like stay busy fights. I like the biggest and the best fights. So after this fight, I'm gonna be looking and waiting until I could get in the ring with a bigger name and make myself known at the 130 weight class or beat up on a big name at 126. So but I'm not really the type to keep fighting like you feel me, them type of fighters.
130's got to excite you a little bit. No, I mean, you got so many good fighters there, and they're all kind of within your grasp. Like they can make those fights theoretically, all with Top Rank.
Yeah, my main person I want there is actually two, but the main one I want is Santa Cruz. If he don't get to fight Tank for whatever reason, I would rather fight Santa Cruz. And the second person is Oscar Valdez because we got unfinished business.
Hmm. Why does everybody want to fight Leo Santa Cruz?
I think that Santa Cruz, I think he got the biggest name at 130. If I'm being honest, I think he got a bigger name than all of them. So I think he'll be a better name on my resume than anybody else at that weight class.
You think he can beat a guy like Tank Davis?
Nah, nope, not at all.
I
I
don't
think
either.
Tank gonna wash him.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't.
think that's a good
He be
fight for
lucky to
Leo.
survive.
That's not a great fight for Leo. That
And I
feels
think
like a little bit too
Tank a
big.
lot bigger than him too. I think that Tank ain't really no 30 pounder no more. I don't even know if he can make 30 pounds actually, 130 pounds. Because even his last fight, he fought 135 and he came over like 2 pounds
Mm,
or something like that. So
mm. Do you feel any different physically at 130? I mean, now that you don't have to squeeze those extra 4 pounds, has it given you anything?
I haven't fought there yet, so I gotta see like how I feel like after the fight. But as far as like camp, it's been like
Mm.
the weight cut is easier for sure.
Steve, this environment obviously is incredibly different. Has been for a couple of months, but the last week or so, Shakur, watching what happened with George Floyd, watching what's happening around the country. You're a kid from Newark, New Jersey, in the city. I mean, how do you react to what you've been seeing?
I know it's a lot going on, but I think that like this a time like this like we need it because like a lot of that stuff been going on for a while and now people starting to like people been standing up, but they standing up a lot more right now. So I think that it's good that this is going on and like I'm with my people on how they feel about this. Hey,
Have you experienced have you experienced stuff like that? Not maybe not exactly what George Floyd did, but growing up in the city, I mean, what kind of racism from police did you experience?
See, I ain't really get like no racist police when I was in Newark. Like I ain't really had that type of problem. But when I went to Virginia, like I moved to Virginia, I felt like I ran into a couple of them racist police. Like I had an experience where I was on my way to actually spar Tank, uh, right before Tank was getting ready for his world title, and the cops. I guess my coach was driving and he was speeding, and the cops had pulled us over. But when they pulled us over, the cop had his gun out, pointed at our window, and he just pointed the gun at our window and telling us to put our hands outside the window, like where he could see him. But I ain't understand. Like we were just speeding. Like it wasn't like no. Like, I ain't understand like why he did all that. Then he made us get out the car, start checking us and all that type of stuff. And they end up saying that they thought the car was stolen. They had somebody that stole a car, and that somebody had stole a car in that city or something like that, like that. And it was some crazy kind of car that they was talking about. But I think that was some bullshit.
Mm.
Yeah.
How did you feel after the fact?
Yeah, it was regular for me. I feel like I done ran into a couple of cops like that. So it was kind of regular. But that was kind of like the worst one. But I done ran into like cops, and I already be feeling like cops is that type of way, like certain cops. So when I run into a cop, I already be having it in my brain already that these cops gonna be this way. So it don't really like it ain't. You feel me? It was regular for me.
You're a young athlete, and you're going to probably get asked about this by other interviews in the week. I mean, as a young star in boxing, what do you hope comes out of all this? You know, what do you hope changes? You know, because of this, how is the death of George Floyd not kind of wasted, so to speak?
I just hope that the cops stop being the way that they is. Like they kind of like it's kind of like the police is like the gangs too. Like they talk about gangs, stopping gang violence and stuff like that, but it's like they just as much as a gang as like the gang. So I just hope that that stop too.